Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I am here with I. I think it is going to be the last installment of this rant alert involving Shirley Strawberry. I can't take no more, y'all. I just can't take it no more. So this video is going to cover the last, I would say, 4 phone calls on phone calls from prison. So like 8 through 12. 12 just came out. Like it just came out just now. I actually had already finished the video, and because 12 just came out, I was like, let me just compile all of this together. But I'm actually kind of starting over from scratch, and I'm gonna just try to make it as short as possible. Yeah, y'all, it's just sad. It is just sad. I have gone back and forth from being sad for Shirley to being infuriated with Shirley to holding my hands up like, what? I look like the shoulder shrug emoji. Like, what are we really talking about here, Shirley? So I listened to the Strawberry Letter call. I wanted to start with that, and nothing too much there. It was really just Shirley being extremely embarrassed. I felt bad for her again when she said that she didn't want to tell anybody at work, and she didn't want to talk about it because work was the only place where she had some semblance of herself. And I just thought it was just sad, y'all. It was sad. She looked pitiful, right? But instead of the call mostly being about her and her situation, kind of like how she would read letters and give advice based on their situation, it was basically just her apologizing to Steve and saying that she didn't know that the phone calls would ever make it out like this. Although they were being recorded, she didn't know they were going to be public, and she's just so sorry about what she said, especially when he and Marjorie are going through their own situation. She said that 3 or 4 times. Steve picked it up, and I still feel like Steve is upset about it, even though he made some jokes. But the rest of the Strawberry Letter, very little had to do with Shirley, okay? All of it had to do with her apologizing to Steve, stating how sorry she was, stating how she hoped it didn't affect their relationship or their job or her job, and Steve telling the black bloggers, specifically the black ones, how nasty and vile they could be, and him defending Marjorie and saying that she was the best woman that he's ever met and ever known. I don't doubt that. I don't expect Steve not to defend his wife, but he didn't even defend her in regards to the comment that Shirley made. Even that would make more sense, right? Because we're talking about Shirley's Strawberry Letter. No, he basically defended the fact that all of us are family, all of us have stuff going on, but me, personally, bringing it back to me, Steve Harvey, y'all not gonna talk about my girl. Y'all not gonna talk about my marriage. Marjorie is this, Marjorie is that. She's not those things that y'all proclaim her to be. Then he goes into this story about how they met, which is different from the story that he's told before about how they met, but okay, I digress. And just about how wonderful this woman is. And I think he may have been married on paper when he met Marjorie, and he thinks that people are talking down on Marjorie because of how they met and that he may have already been married. I've never thought that. I've always thought people talk about Marjorie in regards to how she moved in her past dating life and the type of men she was with, and then she came and got with you. Like there's always like a come up for her. That's how I felt they were talking about Marjorie. And also when people, were talking about the comment Shirley made in regards to her looking at y'all like the help, I wonder if they ever addressed that, because what if she really does feel that way? And what if the other people on the show feel that way? And yes, you may think Marjorie is this great person, and Marjorie may be, but is it possible that maybe there's a disconnect? And I'm not saying you need to care about the disconnect. What I'm saying is, I don't think Shirley said anything that bad to warrant Steve to be carrying on the way he did. I think Steve wanted that opportunity to go at the bloggers. They sit on the radio and they give their opinion on other people's lives, both celebrity and non-celebrity, all the time. I don't know why Steve thinks he's exempt from getting people's opinion. Now, I agree. It doesn't have to get nasty. It doesn't have to get nasty, but I think that when you're in the public eye, you are subject to public opinion, and I don't know any other ways around that. Should people be nasty to you? No. But sometimes that does happen. And Steve, people are going to give their opinion on you and Marjorie. They're going to do that. I just think that Shirley may have opened up some other thoughts that people already had them. Shirley didn't open up nothing new. And in the grand scheme of things, based on private conversations we probably have all had about a coworker or a family member or whatever, I don't think Shirley said nothing that bad. She was not running down on Steve like that. If anything, she was admiring the life that they had and wishes she could do the same for herself. So I don't know, y'all. That whole thing was just crazy. What did y'all think about that strawberry letter? Did you feel like Steve was on a high horse a little bit? Did you feel like he actually forgave her? I feel like he did, but I also feel like it's like, oh, you better watch it because you try it again and you're gone, right? He even made a joke where he was like, that's why we don't let people in our house. And they were laughing, but at the same time, it was kind of cringy. I don't know, y'all. I'm going to get off of that because it's not about Steve Harvey. It's about Shirley. So I wanted to move on to some of the other phone calls that I heard, like between 8 and 12, I believe. We find out that Steve did not introduce them from the strawberry letter. So that part was good. Then Ernest and Shirley talk about him being on the news. And you know, this jive turkey Negro, he is on there almost excited that he gonna be on the news. He like, do you see it? Did you see it? I just called to tell you. Everybody in here like, is that you? That's you. He sounded like he was thrilled to be on there. Meanwhile, Shirley sounds again dejected and embarrassed. He doesn't show any care or concern for her, per usual. And this is when you start to see Shirley. I can hear the panic in her voice right here. I feel like this is what started to turn it for Shirley, because now you've been able to tell everybody, well, it's my marriage and I don't have to tell anyone and I don't have to explain and I don't have to. But now that it's going to be on the news in Atlanta and it's going to be the main story, you can't really run from it anymore. You can't just tell people, oh, it's my marriage. It's not any of your business. Now it's everybody's business. It's on the news business. It's countywide business now, Shirley. And I think that that's when she started to kind of pull back a little bit in regards to Ernest. I think that's when she realized, like, this is extremely serious and I really can't be going around attaching myself to this man or I'm going to lose. I already don't got nothing, but I'm going to lose half for nothing. And that's a whole lot when you already ain't got nothing else. So I think this is what started to turn it for Shirley. On top of that, Ernest isn't really being serious on the call, but she's asking him, how are you going to turn this all around? Well, y'all, he get to talking in that whole, that nigga talk that he like to do. I've seen people come back from worse than this. Yeah, but how are you specifically going to turn it around? Like, I noticed a change in her tone once she found out that this was going to go public. Now, I was just talking to my homegirl about this, and it does make both of us wonder, Shirley, if none of this had gone public, would you still be with Ernest? I mean, we all got to ask that question. If none of it had come out like this, would you still be with him? Because she does say my estranged husband, and that they are getting a divorce on the strawberry letter call. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I haven't gone to see if she's actually filed or not. I haven't gone to look it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if the paperwork wasn't there. But I hope for Shirley's sake she's serious, because I'm about to talk about some more stuff. Now, we also learned that Shirley doesn't know his co-defendant. So it adds another layer to the story. She's asking him who this woman is. This is the woman that was arrested and is out on bond, the one that's beside him every time the article comes out with the photos. Shirley doesn't know who that woman is. And when she's trying to ask Ernest who it is, Ernest get to talking about, I can't be talking about right now. We ain't really linked like that, but I can't be talking on these phones. Oh, you've been talking on the phones quite enough, Ernest. So go ahead and tell us who this is. You just don't want to tell Shirley. And Shirley, who I thought was, getting a little gusto behind her, she pulls back and says, well, all right. We can just talk. Shirley, nah, he would have needed to explain to me. He been doing everything else on that phone. Speaking of everything else, I don't even want to talk about the stuff that him and his mistress have been talking about. They're disgusting. She's silly. How old is this woman? She really do like this man, y'all. Like, it's not a game. She really is feeling him. At first, I thought she was gassing him up and stroking his ego, and she is. But another part of me is like, do you really want to be with him? Like, even if he don't got nothing, because this man might not have nothing when he get out of jail. At one point, they're talking about some of their sexual situations that they had. We noticed, we listened to her tell him that they got to it pretty early, and she just didn't want to be that woman. Oh, that girl, excuse me. I didn't want to be that girl, because you already had your situation, and I just didn't want to be like, she got some high moral code. Girl, you already had sex with him. Then, Ernest is trying to get her to go deeper. He want to know that part. Like, why you feeling me? I want to know what you think about me. I want to go deeper. I'm just like, this is gross. Just listening to him talk is so old and gross. Like, I just hate to hear it. Then he said, am I going to have to pull teeth for you to tell me? You've pulled several teeth already, Ernest, and we can tell by the way that you talk that you missing some in the back. So she is telling him what kind of man she like, because he asked her what kind of man you like. I like my men free. That's what I should have said. I like my men free. Freedom is what I like about my men. Outside, able to go on his own. But yeah, they're just talking about that, and you can just hear that Ernest has plans to deal with this woman. He has plans to have dealings with this woman when he gets out, and she's talking about how she don't mind building with somebody. See, that's what made me think she actually like him. And how she just ain't never been like this. And I'm like, what kind of old, dusty, decrepit D is Ernest throwing around there? I don't want to find out. I do not want to find out. Lord, please don't ever send me no DICK that have my mind gone and have me building with nobody and have me with nothing. Please, I beg of you. I beg, please don't send me none of that demon penis. All right. I don't want it. I don't want it around me. I don't want it to shake hands with me. I don't want to be friends with it. I don't want it in my aura. Right. Because why are these women even like this over this jailbird? And he is a jailbird. So let's get to this last call that him and Shirley had, because the mistress is just, that's just entertainment at this point. And I'm going to combine this last call with the video that Chronicle Speaks last did, which I will try to link in the description bar. So this last phone call that just came out, we getting a different Shirley. Shirley is being a little bit more stern with Ernest. She is asking questions, the questions that she should have asked, and telling him, when you get out, you got to get all of this stuff together. Ernest is like, what you talking about? Like, all of this, like, that's why they picked you up, because you had warrants and you got to get these warrants together. And when we got together, you were asking me about my credit. I didn't know why you were asking me that. And then we moved from one place to another, and you hadn't even handled your business with the other place. And I don't really normally, I knew better than that. I don't move like that. I said, yeah, I bet the hell you did, Shirley. I bet you did. And you knew better also than getting with somebody that already had some charge. Apparently, he had been arrested more than once, even while they were together. And I'm just like, Shirley, it's hard to feel bad. You should have been cutting your losses then. I'm cutting my losses as soon as somebody asks about my credit. I'm going to be like, with credit? What you asking about my credit for? What you want? Right? But I'm definitely cutting my losses when you start going to jail and you got warrants out for you. And he talking about whatever he looks at, whatever locator he looks at didn't show he had any warrants. And she was like, well, that's what I mean. Like, you need to get that stuff together. But he should have been had that stuff together. She sounds like, I ain't gonna say, a family member of mine talking to another family member of mine about his life and how he need to get his stuff situated. But this family member of mine is a younger man. And Shirley is talking to Ernest as if he is her son or a child. And then, do you know this gremlin is laughing? Like, Shirley will try to get on him about something. He'll be like, oh, no, see, I don't want to hear all that. Now, see, I don't want to hear all that. So Shirley is starting to vent some frustration she has about her money situation. Dawn, whoever Dawn is, owe her some money. He say he gonna take care of it when he get out. Okay, he still ain't out. So when Dawn go give up that money, Ernest. Then she says that She needs to go to the mall and get some shoes, but you know, she don't even know if she can do that because her money running low. Now, I'm sure she was being dramatic, but still, this is a real thing. I can't be spending money frivolously. Do you know this fool gonna say to her, well, you know, what you mean you can't get no shoes? What you been doing? Boy, I know you lying. I've been paying the bills for you and your duck ass. You the one in jail. You the one that ain't got nothing. You the one that's done had us moving from home. Well, actually, I can't even say he did that. Shirley also participated in that. But I'm spending all my money to defend you. And you talking about you might have a bond and I'm going to have to pay that too? You are what I've been spending my money on. And she didn't even say it the way I thought. She didn't say it like that. She was like, well, I've been spending it on you. I said, oh, see, he would have got cussed out for that. He would have had to call me another day, because ain't no way you would have been able to say what you've been doing with your money. And I've been putting money on your books and paying your lawyer's fees. You got me messed up. So she starts talking about the storage and how her stuff was thrown into the storage after the last place that they moved out from, probably because it was a rush job. And Ernest gonna say he don't want to hear all that. What you gonna do when God bless you with more? And see, that whole conversation allowed me to see that what Shirley has been doing in order to keep this man is trying not to piss him off, trying to walk on eggshells, trying not to say nothing that's gonna get him amped up or worked up, avoiding hard conversations. Because the one time they have had a hard conversation on this phone, all this man has done is laugh, try to bring up God when we not talking about that, and try to move around whatever she's asking him. And that's what he always does. And that's what she's probably always been allowing him to do. I have noticed even in previous phone calls, Shirley want to talk real light to him. And, well, honey, did you hear me? Why do you keep saying what? Did you hear what I said? Why are you talking soft to this fool? Why? Do he got some dirt on you? It's okay if he got your news, Shirley. Y'all was married. All right, you ain't no bad looking woman. I'm sure that body look all right. Even at 70, some tell me it still sit up the way it needs to sit up. Don't worry about it. Okay? But do we got something else on you? Because I would not be talking soft to him. I would have cussed him out. I would have cussed out his mama. I don't care if his mama was dead. I would have cussed out his kids. And I would have cussed out a mistress that I didn't even know about yet. But I would have had suspicion that it was already a missus and everybody getting cussed out. Understand me. And then I would hang up my phone and I would call the divorce lawyer and tell him to get a public defender. Shirley, cut your losses. You should have cut your losses at the child P word. And while you was up there doing that strawberry letter, I can't say that word. I was about to say kowtowing. I was about to say the word wrong. But tucking your tail and apologizing to Steve, you really should have been offering up them apologies to your daughter and everybody else in your life who may have been a little nosy, but still had your best interests at heart. Because those are the people that you're going to need in your corner. You are 70 years old. You are starting from the bottom. You are starting from the beginning. And you are going to need that kind of support in your corner. Ernest is not here for you. He is never going to be here for you. He is hoping to stay with you, get you to pay the bill so that he can spend his money and his time on this mistress. Do not let him do it to you any further. You are already looking like a fool. You don't need to look like a fool anymore. God is not going to bless you for loving this man, and we are blaming Mr. Charlie, and I give a damn. All right? I will see y'all for the next one. Hopefully not. I think this is going to be my last one because Shirley got my pressure up. Y'all have a good one.